King has written about some scary stuff. Shape-shifting spider clowns, hotels that make you kill your family, vampires with New England accents. But none of those are anywhere near as terrifying as really mean teenage girls. We all know it's true. Here to tell us some more about playing some of the most infamous bullies ever in Prime Video's upcoming Carrie, Allison Thornton and Sienna Agudong. It's great to meet you both.
Yeah, you as well.
So you will be portraying Chris and Sue, some very iconic characters from Stephen King's Carrie. How does the show handle bullying in the modern age? There wasn't social media when Stephen King originally published this book in the 1970s. Allison, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, bullying is a huge theme in our show, and I think that it's more topical right now, of course, with social media and how, I mean, I find it more terrifying that now bullying can follow you home. I mean, before social media, you could be bullied in person, which still sucks, but then you'd go home and it was a safe space. And now it's just always there. And I think that people can be crueler online because it's anonymous, and people kind of feel safer to just tear each other down. So yeah, I feel bad for teenagers today who have to navigate that.
And I think something that our show touches on is you do get to see social media in all aspects. Like it's taken to the extreme, and so you're able to see a mirror of our humanity and how we can use it for good, how we can use it for bad, obviously, and so it's more relevant than ever. Yeah.
I think so. It's gotten intense. A lot of fans of the book are split between seeing Carrie as an anti-hero or maybe the tragic rise of a villain in another view. What's your take? Sienna, let's start with you this time.
Whether or not she's a villain or
Is she a villain or an anti-hero?
See, this is why I'm so excited, is because I can't answer that question, and I don't know if I can answer that question across the board. And you're always asking that question as a viewer when you're watching this show, because you're not supposed to necessarily agree with people's actions, but you can understand where they're coming from and why they did it. Do you have a
smart answer?
Yeah, I think it's really complicated. It's very nuanced. I'm also so excited for people to see it, because when I watched the show the whole time, I was so confused about who I was rooting for, and I kept going back and forth. And I'm so excited for people to see that and to hear their opinions about who's the villain and who's the victim. And is it more complicated than that?
It could be complicated.
Yeah.
But what excited me about this adaptation is that it is being led by Mike Flanagan. Tell me what it was like working with him.
It was amazing working with Mike Flanagan. I was already a big fan of his, and he just right away made such a lovely, supportive environment for us. We had like a month of rehearsals before we even started shooting. He really encouraged us to advocate for our characters, and he's just such a passionate person. It's infectious. He also had a fart machine that he would pull on us. Like, we'd be doing a scene and you'd just hear a fart, which really kept the mood light despite such dark and heavy content. So, I mean, working with him was a masterclass.
This was the most organized set that I've ever worked on, and the most time efficient, but the most playful. Like, it was just full of so much joy, and for a show to be about kindness and connecting with people around you, that was on and off screen.
Excellent. That sounds amazing. So this is not the first time Carrie has been adapted in different versions. It's not Mike Flanagan's first time adapting Stephen King either. Did he have any rules regarding how close you needed to stick to the original versions of your characters?
No rules. The thing is that Mike does a beautiful job. I wasn't familiar with Carrie coming into this, and through Mike's story is how I discovered it. And you go into it and you trust the words on the paper. Mike did lead us in the beginning, where he worked so hard to respect his story and respect his characters and who he's casting, but he also told us to embody them. And these are these characters in today's world, and this is now Carrie today. So it was really important for me to come in as fresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think with an 8-episode format, we have a lot more time with the characters, and we get to see who they are in circumstances that maybe aren't in the book and that aren't in the previous iterations. And yeah, Mike, as Sienna said, really just let us have ownership of the characters. And I think fans of the book and of the previous versions will still be really excited by this because we definitely have the core of the story, but with some new things as well.
I'm glad to hear it. What do you think your characters, that's Sue and Chris, would do if they had Carrie's telekinetic powers?
I don't think it'd be good. I don't think for Chris it would be good. I think that she would probably not use it in a good way. I think that she would maybe use it to hurt people if she's in a bad place. I would hope that she would try to do some good, but she's also a person in a lot of pain, and I think that she would take it out on people. Yeah.
I can't think about Sue going through anything else in that moment. Like watching Carrie and getting to know her unravels her so much that I just don't know if she would really be able to like function in society if she had an extra added weight of
She's
powers.
already carrying a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Allison, you do play Chris Hargensen. She is a quintessential mean girl. In Brian De Palma's version, she instigates a lot of the bullying against Carrie, the prom massacre being one of them. What separates your version of Chris from the 1976 or even the book version?
Well, that's a really good question. I think that this version of Chris, there's a lot of vulnerability underneath the cruelty. She's in a really dark place. She's having a very hard time. She does not have a support system. She doesn't have really any role models or healthy coping mechanisms. So a lot of the bullying and cruelty comes from a place of pain. And I don't really think it has much to do with Carrie. I think that Carrie is just who's in front of her at that time. It's just bad timing. And I think one of the most heartbreaking things about this version of Chris and of the show is that had Chris and Carrie met maybe 6 months earlier, I think that they would have actually been friends.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. That's
Yeah.
a balanced take, too. How fun are you having playing the villain, question mark?
I mean, it's really fun. I don't see Chris as a villain, but I'm a little biased. It's really fun and challenging to play a character that's that complicated. But I've had so much fun. Also, I mean, working with Sienna, working with Summer, the whole cast, it was incredible. One of the best experiences of my life, for sure.
Can I add something?
Absolutely.
Allison's performance throughout this entire series is so beautiful and so layered, and I just have to say, I think it's coming from a place of how kind Allison is in real life, because she brings this really strong depth to Chris, and it pains Allison as a person to play someone like that, but she brings that emotional, I want to say depth, because it's just gorgeous, and I really can't wait for people to see it.
Thank you.
You're not supposed to be here.
I know.
That is such a sweet thing to do as Sue, but I'm actually really excited for that. That sounds like a much more nuanced take than we've gotten before. But Sienna, Sue starts off as kind of a follower of the bullying, even participates in some of it, but she's sympathetic toward Carrie and regrets her actions. Why do you think that is? And what is the basis of her friendship with Chris?
Yes, so when I was approaching Sue, it was really important to me to come from a place of, because I've been there before and I still find myself questioning these things, and there's a time in your life where there's moments where you're acting from a place of being a good person, and there's like this feeling of performing, and it's not necessarily coming from a place of genuinity. And with her friendship with Chris, it feels like it's something familiar because nobody's ever broken that for her. She's never met someone as pure or as kind as Carrie. And Carrie is the person who shows her what true kindness is like, and through that she was actually able to see her for the first time, to listen, to be present with someone.
I love that kindness seems to be the center of what
Yeah.
you're speaking about today. And I would like to think that there are more people in the world who are like Sue, who maybe face peer pressure and maybe even cave into it sometimes, but ultimately recognize and do the right thing. What kind of message do you hope teens take away from this new adaptation?
You go ahead.
I think, as you said and you put so beautifully as well, kindness over cruelty always. I think it's especially important to be kind when it's hard to be kind, when you're maybe in a vulnerable place. I think that that's the most important time to do it. And I also think a big message in the show is, if you're having a bad time, if you're in a dark place, lean on your community and on your friends instead of isolating yourself from them. And I also just hope that people love the show and are on the edge of their seats.
I think I'm going to add on to exactly that. I hope that Mike has done such a beautiful job giving every character a whole arc to flesh out all of their whole world. And I hope people are able to watch and not necessarily agree, but see where they're coming from. And if that means walking away from the show a little kinder and a little more present with the people in front of them and choosing kindness. Hurrah!
I can't wait for the show even more than before. Carrie will premiere exclusively on Prime Video this fall. Right now, stick around for more Comic-Con right here on IGN.